Okay, welcome everyone to our Wow Wednesday podcast for the X39 stem cell activation patch. I am Bhimi Cayce, your host for tonight, and I am a senior presidential director with LifeWave. I've been in the health and wellness field for over 40 years. I co-founded a healing center when I lived in California, and I am all about how to take care of your body, how to best way to do preventative and just live a very healthy life. So I am super excited to be hosting tonight. And I especially want to welcome those of you who are checking us out for the first time. We know that you were invited by a friend or a loved one who cares very much about you, because they want you to have a higher quality of health, and that's why you are here. In our next 30 minutes together, you're going to hear some remarkable testimonials about the X39. We have two special guests tonight. I'm really excited for you to hear from them. And you're also going to get an overview about the patch and the science, and then a little bit about how you can get involved and perhaps join our global team. What I'd like to do first is introduce David Schmidt, who is our CEO, inventor, founder, and true visionary. He saw the future of regenerative medicine over 10 years ago. And what he did was set out to discover how to capture the science of stem cells using his signature delivery system, which are energetic patches. So after spending millions of dollars in the process, around 2 years ago, he launched the first ever patented stem cell activation patch, or X39. And we'll hear more about that in a few minutes. Before we dive into our testimonials, I want to read our medical disclaimer. We're not doctors or medical professionals, and the information discussed is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. So if you're pregnant, nursing, or taking medication, or have a condition, please consult with your physician if that's what you need to do. So we are ready to jump into our testimonials tonight. And we have two very seasoned people that are going to be sharing with us. They've been on the patch for a long time, so you're going to hear a lot of different benefits that have showed up through their, I think, 2 years or more on the product. And these ladies are really good friends. They're going to talk about that. And our first interview is going to be with Shawn. And we're going way over to the other side of the country because Shawn is in Alaska and Kathleen is in Hawaii. So we're way over there on the other side. And Shawn has been a singer-songwriter and actually has released 3 CDs, and she's working on her 4th one. She's an experienced sound healer and wellness retreat facilitator, and she owns the Love Life Healing Center. Shawn's life experience also includes, and this is quite unusual, working in the Alaskan oil field industry for 26 years. So I want to welcome you, Shawn, onto the call and let us know when you got started, what was going on with your health then, and what you've noticed and all the results that you've had.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here and so honored to be a part of, sharing this with you and Kathleen. I've been excited all day. I feel like I got butterflies in my stomach. Anyway, 2 years ago, I was working on the slope a schedule. So for 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and 12 hours a day, 84 hours a week when I was on the slope. Really, a pretty stressful schedule. I didn't get much sleep, like 4.5 hours a day. It was average, but I mean, a 5-hour night of sleep would be, oh, I got an extra half hour, that kind of thing. So Yeah. And I also, was getting a lot of migraines because I from the stress and lack of sleep. So, I mean, I was sneaking off to my room and taking migraine medication, and just didn't have much energy, and was like, feeling kind of discouraged, about my life. Like, I was 53 when I started these patches, and I'm 55 now. So, yeah, super grateful. But that, basically what happened is kind of funny. I'd been in a couple network marketing companies with Marcy Preble, and I was pretty much like, I'm done, taking a break, like I just don't even want to hear about the next, big idea you got, Marcy. But anyway, she's like, no, Shawn, I'm going to gift you these patches. And they were, so I'm like, okay. When she had to talk me into taking something free, that's how like resistant I was. And anyway, so I got them and I took them up to the slope with me. And what I put one on, and she said, put it on in the morning, wear it for 12 hours. And so I was like, okay, but I put it on, I had an instantaneous benefit from it. They said, put it on the C7 and then, and just wait. And well, it took about 15 seconds when I was like, there's something going on here. I felt my brain light up like a light bulb. And I was like, okay, I need to, check this out, and I need to order some, and I don't have enough to last me 2 weeks. Basically is where my mind went after about 30 seconds. So that night, I took it off and I went to bed, and I woke up to find out that I had 6.5 hours sleep. And I was like, okay, now I'm like, something's going on here. All right. Well, maybe that was just a coincidence, I had great energy that day, right away, it just hit me. I mean, I know it doesn't happen like that for everyone. Some people, it takes them a lot longer, but for whatever reason, I got the golden ticket with the X39 patch. So the other thing that I noticed was, I talked to Marcy, and Onyx Cole gave me a call to talk to me about the patches. And anyway, they what Onyx said was like, okay, are you having any dreams? And I'm not the type of person to dream, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having crazy dreams, like colorful, like very unusual, dreams that I was not used to having. And they were very colorful and all that. And so that was like a sign that it was doing something for my brain, like, balancing it or getting the chemicals right. So I'm like, that was another, okay, aha moment. Okay, well, maybe it's working. So I keep taking the patches. And the next big thing that I really noticed was, for me doing that shift work of going back and forth, when I come home, I would be exhausted and grumpy and like, basically taking it out on my boyfriend a lot. And I noticed that things that I probably would have used to annoyed me before, it didn't trigger me. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty dang cool. I mean, this is now it's becoming a game changer. I also noticed, like, within the first month that my migraines, which were consistently 3 to 4 a week, which, I would take the medication, I would, I was able to handle it or like control it, but I was probably only getting maybe 1 migraine a week, which, that's a huge, and now it's definitely improved since then. But at the time, when I'm working 84 hours, I want to, have as least amount of headaches as possible and not have to manage that kind of thing. So that was probably the best benefit that I could have had after a month. I was like, I'm on this stuff for life. I can't see, I mean, I've taken all the natural stuff, obviously the pharmaceutical, medication was the only thing that helped me. And now, I would say my migraines are down to like once every 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and that's when I have a glass of wine and, and I go too far and that it triggers it. So now I'm not even drinking wine. I'm just like, keeping my life pretty pure and clean because it's really nice to be migraine free. So, so then I started sharing it with my family, right? You find benefits for yourself. And my mom, was pretty sick with COPD. She smoked cigarettes for 45 years of her life. and she was miserable. She was looking everywhere for, answers. And I was like, well, I didn't know it was going to help her with her COPD, but I was like, try this out for a couple months. And she noticed all the initial benefits of energy, and, she kept taking it. Our skin was so much softer. The hair started growing faster. The gray hair, I used to have little wisps of gray, this bleep, gone. I don't know where that went. It just stopped growing, really. Anyway, so Mom, this is about month 4. So it was it took a little while, but one day she calls me, she's like, Shawn, she was 24/7 oxygen, when she was off oxygen sitting, she was at 88% oxygen levels. So she's like, Shawn, I kind of spaced out using my oxygen for the last 2 days. And I was like, well, and she put the oximeter on her finger and it said 97%. That tells me that when you activate your own pluripotent stem cells, that they're going in there and taking diseased tissue and making it new again. I was like, I've heard that over and over, it was like kind of repetitively drilled in my brain. But when you get to see it in your beloveds and someone that you love, you're just like, that's when you integrate the belief, and so, okay, so then this is even after that. This is probably like 8 months into using the X39, still working on the slope. I got bit by a horse, like my knuckle, like she bit it right on my knuckle. I think if it would have been on my tip, I would have been bitten off. And anyway, it's like a bumpy little knuckle. Well, I started getting this little bump on the front of my knuckle, and I'm like, that looks like a blood clot, and I ended up talking to a PA, a physician's assistant on the slope, because they're just there, 24/7 to be of assistance. And he's like, oh, that's an aneurysm, Shawn. And I'm like, aneurysm? Like, I don't like that word. So, I remember Onyx Cole talking about putting a patch on her lymph node on her leg. And so I put a used patch on that bump on my hand, that of the blood clot. And within 10 days, it disappeared. It was gone. And that was just another example of my tissue getting healed right before my eyes.
Now, Shawn,
Yeah.
I know you have a lot more to share, but we're going to have to move on now to Kathleen.
Okay, great.
I know that we're going to have you back because the two of you have so many things to talk about. So I really appreciate you hitting on the highlights.
Yeah,
right
definitely.
away.
All right.
Thank you so much. And we're now going to move over to Kathleen. And let me introduce Kathleen. She's been in the healing arts for 25 years. She has a master's in clinical psychology and is a transformational spiritual coach. She has put together psychology and energy healing and developed her own transformational process that connects people to their divinity. And she's currently working on her first book about healing the world. So Kathleen, come on and tell us your story, what was happening before, what's happened now, and you're on. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Bhimi and Shawn. It's so great. So Shawn and I have known each other since 7th grade. That's like, I don't even know, 44 something years. So it's amazing to be on this journey together. So happy to be here. Going to answer a quick question in the chat. Shawn's mom was on X39. That's what shifted the COPD and the oxygen for her. It was X39. So, okay, so my story. So I've been on the patch for a little over 2 years. And so when I put the patch on, right away, my whole spine just shot up with light. I could feel the energy rush just go right down my spine. I was like, holy smokes, what is this stuff? And then instant giddy and joy. I'm already really upbeat, but it just elevated this huge joy container. I was just like having so much fun, like a little kid skipping through the tulips. My energy was off the charts. And then it started ticking away with all these other things. I would have actually told you there was nothing wrong with me, but I had all kinds of results. First of all, 30 years ago in my 20s, hardcore Alaskan, I'm running this snow machine that's got way too much horsepower. I should have never been on it, had no business owning it. And I crashed it right into a mountain. So what happened was my thumbs were severely injured and I could only move my thumbs like that. There was no other movement for 30 years of my thumbs. And I did a massage, so that was kind of crazy. Look at them now. I can bend them, I can push on them, I can pop them, I can hitchhike, I can do whatever I want. So that's amazing. Zero pain after 30 years. Then about 16 years ago, I got deathly ill. I was pregnant with my daughter and I had this really rare illness that they have no idea still what it was. However, we were super sick and neither her nor I almost made it. It was so bad that it attacked the whole right side of my body and I couldn't walk. And when I did, my whole leg was like wood. I would have to move my leg with my other hands into the car, out of the car. I basically was in bed for 6 weeks. It was so painful. Anyways, I recovered and the consequences were complete nerve pain and numb all the way down the right side of my leg on my iliotibial. That, my friends, is 95% gone. The numbness is gone, and I no longer have nerve pain shooting through my leg. Amazing. And so another thing is I'm 55 and I don't have one single cavity, which is like, wow, but I did have gum issues. I had bleeding and I had pockets. Bam, no bleeding, no pockets. They are totally gone. So also what happened in about 3 months, I have such a list at 3 months. So I have really great skin. I was born and raised in Alaska 30 years. I don't have sun damage. I have really great skin. But at 3 months, my entire skin resurfaced. So I woke up one day and there was like red blotches and it moved clear across my face over the course of 3 days. And afterwards, it was like, voila, look at the new you. Every single pore was gone. It was like baby skin, absolutely amazing. Totally resurfaced my skin after 3 months. So a current thing is I got COVID in August and I was super, super duper sick for 2 weeks. And 2 months, so that was mid-August. Now come mid-November, all of my hair started falling out in handfuls. I mean, I'm talking scary, huge gobs, handfuls, like 10 times. Like I lost over 50% of my hair. Come to find out, 2 months after COVID, a third of the people that happens to, I was one of those people. Guys, that was 2 months ago. Look at my hair. Like, holy smokes, it is so recovered. It's just amazing. So, but honestly, why I'm here, why I'm sitting with you here tonight, why I share this patch, why I am so passionate is because of my daughter, Sienna Lene. And so she was 13 when we started the patches. She was a golden girl before the patches. Golden girl, straight A student, star dancer, star singer, star athlete. Everything she touched was golden. And then she had a horrible, horrible trauma. And then right after that, one of her best friends died. So she had 2 horrible traumas in the course of 6 months. That sent her into complete darkness, like the worst spiral you could ever imagine. She hated herself, she hated me, she hated life. It was really, really a dark time. And she was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, depression. She dropped grades of D's and F's, withdrew from life, etc. Really dark time. So the darkest night was November 26th. We didn't know what was going to happen that night. We got through it. The next morning, the patches came, and I had no idea that they were going to do anything on the mental, emotional level. I just put it on her because I was putting it on me. And then within about 5 days, I noticed she was smiling. She was getting out of bed. She was wearing clean clothes. She was washing her hair. And granted, this is a gorgeous girl who loved what she looked like, and that had gone away. So I noticed these little changes. At 3 weeks, guys, we're in Oregon playing ping pong, and there is my daughter laughing and singing and dancing at the top of her lungs. I actually burst out crying, which I'm close to right now. And I grabbed her hands. I'm like, Sienna, oh my gosh. She says, Mama, you have no idea how different I feel in my body. And I said, I can see it. So what come to find out, 4 weeks later, they actually published the brain mapping study, which showed, guess what, guys, your brain's going to heal through the patches, healing your body, PTSD, anxiety, depression. And that's what's gone on with my daughter. She's straight A's. She just got accepted to a dance competition. She's doing a duet and traveling with a team and dancing 11 hours a week and is rocking the world. So thank you, David Schmidt. That is why I share the patches, because it literally saved my daughter's life. So glad to be here to tell my story. And thank you for listening. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, both of you tonight were incredible. So many different levels of results and benefits. It's quite, just hearing this, it blows our minds, you know, how one little patch that looks like this wafer thin technology can cause the body to go into such healing. And thank you both so much for sharing this. And I know you didn't get all your stories in, but I think everybody got an earful of everything. So especially for those people that are new tonight, this technology is wafer thin, as you see. It looks like a Band-Aid. It's non-transdermal, it's non-invasive, it has no ingredients. What's in it? People say, how does it work? It's organic nanocrystals that have amino acids, water, salt, and sugar. And what happens is that this crystal lattice is formed, and it absorbs and traps the body's infrared light when you put the patch on your skin. And what happens then is that the crystals reflect back and shine back a certain part of that infrared spectrum. Those wavelengths actually go back into the body. And what that does is set up a communication pathway. And this pathway is where the light is triggering biochemical changes in the receptors of the body. So like you heard them talk about all these different things that healed, the patches don't heal. The patches give the body the right communication for the body to go into self-healing. And so we liken this to like when you go out in the sun and, you know, the sun hits your body and your body makes vitamin D. So it's the same kind of understanding. The wavelength frequencies elevate the body to stimulate it to make stem cells. And what the actual process is that it hits what's known as the GHK copper peptide. And this is a gene modulator. It's actually a master signaling molecule which starts to reset over 4,000 genes within 24 to 48 hours. It also is repairing the DNA. But most importantly, and what we're also excited about, is that it activates the body to create younger, intelligent stem cells. And they know exactly where to go with this communication pathway to where there is dysfunction in the body. And so the body starts to regenerate the imbalances that are going on. This whole process that I just described is called phototherapy. And phototherapy is not new, it's been around forever. But what happens is that it creates a metabolical change in the cells. So what we suggest is that you wear the patch 12 hours on during the day, usually, because we need to drink a lot of water, and the patch will give you energy. And then you take it off at night when the body naturally goes into repair. And that's what we suggest. Now, the statistics show that 50% of the people feel something right away. Like you heard tonight, so they started getting some results within a few hours, a few days. But then you heard also that results continued. And so we see that 50% of the people need more time, 1 to 4 months. And that is why we recommend a 90-day protocol. And just so you know, that the New England Journal of Medicine, which I know you've heard of, very prestigious, what it says about stem cells is that the #1 indicator of wellness is directly related to the number of stem cells in your body, in your bloodstream. And so why is this important? Because what we have is what we call age reversal. Because after 35, you're losing about 50% of your ability to make stem cells and GHK. So they're both diminishing. And at 60, about 80% of that ability is gone. So aging is starting to happen. Once you start using the patch, all this starts to turn around. We call it age reversal. And that's what you heard tonight, everybody's hair and skin. And I talked about it last night. People are seeing these results showing up on their body. So this company, LifeWave, has been around for 17 years. However, these products, the X39 is brand new almost, just a little over 2 years old. So what we have here is the stability of a very solid company with an unparalleled patented proprietary technology. And David Schmidt, he is always in the lab. He is so scientifically oriented. It's a very odd combination with the CEO who's also the inventor. And he has over 100 patents. And 70 of those are in regenerative science. His passion, his mission is all about helping people feel better, look younger, and live more joyful lives. And he does this by tapping into the body's natural resiliency. So we're really like a biotech company. Because David is coming out with more and more technology. He's hinted at things. So it's very exciting what's coming in the future with our company. And of course, we recently just launched the second stem cell activation patch called the X49. The reason this company has exploded in the last several years, since 2018, is because of the introduction of the X39. That is our flagship product. And our sales have like tripled. We did close to 300 million last year. And we have over 80 we're in over 80 countries. We have 5 offices. So we're a big global company. And the business is just expanding and expanding because the product works. So how do you get involved? How do you get your hands on this? We have several ways, and the person that invited you here tonight will go over in detail with you how you can get involved. We have a very robust preferred customer program where you get discounts, you get free product, and you're on the X39 on a monthly basis, and you're going to save money. Now, if you want to save money and perhaps make money to cover the cost of your product or have some residual income, you may want to think about becoming a business partner where you can buy wholesale and you can also make some extra income. And we have different packages that you can buy, starting from a silver, which is around $300, going up to the diamond package, which is $1,600. The more you buy, the more perks you get, the different the price points are. And again, the person that invited you will love to explain everything to you. So in closing, I just want to ask you, who do you know that's struggling with some type of health condition? And who do you know that wants more energy, maybe needs relief, pain relief? And who wants to live a more vibrant lifestyle? And who do you know that maybe would like to make some extra income? So if these kind of questions, you can come up with some answers and get excited about really helping people live a better quality of life, talk to the person that invited you. We do this every night, Monday through Thursday. We have this amazing podcast with 2 more testimonials and an overview. Tomorrow night, we have Marcy and Dr. Stacy. I want to thank you all for being here, taking your time to check us out. And I wish you a very happy evening and very vibrant health. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
awesome.
fabulous call.
Shawn.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
You guys are
Thank you.
awesome.
God bless.
Bye,
Thank you, guys.
ladies.
We